I saw an interview of Alice Deering last week, so maybe her.
Why would you be interested in her? I thought you was stopping swimming.
It says here you can't swim, is that correct?
How do I put this? I think the problem is that she needs both our support.
I've got to work.
Does that mean swimming will damage my hair? Maybe I should stop swimming.
So thank you for speaking. If you could just introduce your name, your job title, and summarise how you feel now that we've had the premiere of Black Cat Swim Rewind.
So my name is ACCURA. I'm producer of Black Cat Swim documentaries. I'm also the co-founder of the Black Swimming Association. This is the third film documentary, and I am so excited. From the beginning, when I decided to make the third film, I thought, well, I knew it was about swimming. Obviously, it's in the title, Black Cat Swim. But little did I know that it was going to be a lot more than that. I mean, and I've said it so many times, when you have a member of the cast come up to you and say that, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and what you have done has made me decide not to get into crime, to walk away from crime, and look at further things in my life. It means so much to me. So I'm so excited about this.
And it is the first non-profit organization that has been set up to ensure that these stories are heard, to ensure that we understand exactly why a lot of us are not in the water, that someone hears our story. But it's not just about advocacy, it's also about research, which Ed's film has done so well to really get us talking, finding a safe place to have these conversations, and also doing a call to action for the government to hold on to, or almost like ring-fenced funding for swimming at school. But think about this, it's not just about equal access to swimming lessons at school, it's equitable access. We've heard a young boy share a story about swimming is delivered in his school, but they are being separated, Caucasian children on one side and black children on the other. That has got to stop.
Like basically getting something off my chest, because I was meaning to tell Mum like a while ago, but I didn't really get to telling her.
I was in the film today talking about the importance of inclusion, diversity, representation, role models, and the power of role models really came out in the two characters today. So brilliant to be involved, and the reaction from everybody in the room has been fantastic, and the panel discussion really passionate around the importance of getting this right and keeping people alive, so delighted to be involved.
I think with role models, obviously kids look up to their parents, they're their role models, they follow what their parents do. It has a massive impact on how they behave and stuff. So also having role models in other sectors such as swimming also encourages younger people to sort of get into things. So if we have more role models like Alice Deering herself, then more young people will see that and think, wow, well, I can do this, why can't I do it?
It was nerve-wracking because I've never done this before, and this was the first time, but I really enjoyed myself. And one thing that stood out is to me that during that movie I actually learned that I actually had the talent to swim and I should use it more, because not many people have the same opportunity as me to actually swim, so that's one thing I picked up from it.
I thought it was absolutely excellent. I thought there's something in there for everybody, from people in the black community who don't swim, people who do swim, people from outside of the community, because it gives an opportunity to maybe not experience, but to perhaps understand some of the difficulties that we have, and some of the difficulties that we have in society in general and how that translates and how it can translate into somebody not learning to swim.
The film is fantastic. So much information about the safety. It addresses so many different things. Some things that maybe people didn't really want to talk about. Black women and hair, big deal for us. So yeah, it brought lots of things to the forefront.
So for me, being involved in this film is just to make a statement and show the young people you can do whatever you do. You can swim whether you're artist. In whatever you do, try and focus on yourself. Mental health first, your health and well-being, what you eat, your nature of life is the only thing that can reverse anything.
If you swim, how did you start swimming? Tell us your story. If you don't swim, why don't you swim?
But obviously you experience some of the myriad pressures and challenges and issues that this movie exposes that so many kind of African-European, Indian people experience. I want to ask you why, Alice, were you able to push beyond and obviously become the role model that you now are?
Deal with, and like I said, I think I was very ignorant to it. I would turn up on poolside, I'd put my hat and goggles on, I'd have my swimming costume on, and I'd look around and see everybody's wearing the same thing as me. So in my mind, I was like, they're swimmers, I'm a swimmer. I don't see myself as any different to these other boys and girls on poolside.
I could be 70, if I didn't know I was 7 years old, I'm still gonna learn because I'm still here. It's never too late to swim.
Being in an audience of like-minded people, and the panel discussion was really, really important, telling the story, telling the journey. But the key thing was about the lived experiences, especially some of the comments and some of the stories of the younger people.
I really enjoyed the film. I feel like it's so inspirational, especially being black myself and being female myself. And I feel like there is a lack of representation in the field of swimming. I can actually swim myself. So one of my highlights of the scene was obviously me swimming in it as well. But just seeing other people, especially people like Alice as well, show up as a role model to other young people and inspiring them to swim and to continue their passion. I was actually a pretty good swimmer when I was in school, and they told me to I live in Brent, they told me to join the Brent Dolphins, but the lack of representation was the thing that held me back, and instead I invested my time into athletics and into education instead. And you never know what could have happened if I did invest in swimming. So
I think the experience that young people go through, so I'm a youth worker, I work with young people, so now I think it's inspired me, and it's given me the knowledge to have better conversations with the black young people that I work with, perhaps about their leisure activities, extracurricular activities that they perhaps aren't getting involved in, that I might not have considered before. So now I'll be able to consider those things because our youth centre where I work is next to a swimming pool. So, and it's a huge swimming pool as well. So now perhaps the dots have been joined together this evening, if that makes sense. I know my nephew's in the movie, but he's been a swimmer from a young age. He used to do gala swimming for the Scouts and things like that. We've always encouraged that. But I think now it's given me a bit more motivation and inspiration to reach out to the young people that I work with who are from the Zimbabwean community, who perhaps aren't having that opportunity to learn how to swim or aren't being encouraged to get involved in swimming.
Hardest bars, they resonate every day, grafting hard man dedicate. When man's low, man meditate, elevate, soon gon' blow, soon detonate. Man don't hesitate, not me, never mate. Got corn, got hella spray. In this fight, I'm heavyweight anyway, soon gon' win and celebrate. Hardest bars, they resonate every day.
I nearly drowned when I was 4, yeah, so it made me very scared of water and whatnot. But then, a few years ago, I started to try get back into swimming and whatnot. And then the first time I got in, I was obviously, I was really confused and scared and whatnot. But I think this has made me want to get back into that and made me less scared and more open to the experience. So yeah.
What mainly stood out to me is the type of impact that you can make on different people. So
you know, when you go to school, you're not really told about the impacts of swimming and what it can do to save your life or as a life skill as well. So it's also amazing to see how it can impact so many young people as well, and being able to teach like your siblings as well. So if you go to school, don't wait until it's their turn to go to secondary school to teach them how to swim. Start now.
Yes, well, it's a very good thing, not only within a career, but in a life-saving situation. Because if you can't swim and you find yourself in difficulty, you're in problem.
What we've seen as the movies have gotten better, from the first, the second, and now the third, is that the stories that are being shared, the personal experiences are much stronger, and that our communities want to be heard. They want to share their story, but they don't just want to share their story. They want to ensure that something is done about what they're sharing, because these are lived personal experiences.
And it goes to show that there is an issue. And it's an issue a lot of people do not understand. There's a lot of marginalization. There's a lot of systemic racial situations going on in various different organizations that we need to address. Whether it's intentional or not, whether people understand what they're doing or not. This is what the Black Women's Association was created for.
And here we go again.
You can't walk in the shoes I wear. You wanna tell me how to live my life? Don't judge me by what I wear and assume that I'm carrying a knife. Not me, not him, not her. It's just another stereotype. Don't believe everything you read and get caught in this visual hype.